sense of purpose, how it connects to the bigger picture. And again, this is for you to kind of assess for yourself. Do you have that sense of purpose, that sense of connectedness, that sense of structure in your life? If you do, you will find yourself being very effective, it'll be easier for you to make decisions. It'll be easier for you to wake up in the morning. It'll be easier for you to go towards more difficult things versus the other way, when you don't have those things, then it becomes harder and harder, and you will more and more use your willpower to do things. And willpower is also an aspect of mental energy that it's renewable, but you only have a little bit of it every day. Thinking about this and start to kind of do a survey of your life as to what's happening in terms of your energy, how you're moving forward in different sides of your energy, different aspects of energy. So we're going to go deeper into some of those things and see. And I want you to think about how those areas are impacting your well-being and how that's impacting other people around you in your leadership role, whether that's at home, in your business, in your community, wherever that might be. And Peter's sharing, I'm in San Diego, have to drive through the fires often to get well, stay safe. I hope everything goes well. Yeah, I know it looks pretty horrific on the news and everything, but I can't imagine being there because it must be a mess. I wish anybody is listening to this in California, if you're ever listening to the video, I hope everything goes well and you and your family safely go through this process in your community. So let's jump in. And our topic today, if you can see this, you probably cannot. So this is going to be for me, energy. So energy, and a lot of times when we think of energy, we don't go deeper into it because usually when we think about productivity, being effective, productive, we tend to think about things like time. And time is actually not the biggest factor, to be honest. Time, think of it this way. Pretty much all of us have that as standard, as a common factor. We all have 24 hours. The variable in this equation is actually energy. The thing that determines progress, growth, and all sorts of other thing is actually energy. That's the thing that's different between individual to individual, and that's the thing that people leverage. And we'll go into the different areas of energy, what they are, and how each of them might be impacting you. Keep in mind, I'm going to go in through 4 categories that you need to be thinking about. They're all interconnected. For the sake of conversation, we're kind of separating them, and there might be other dimensions of energy. I don't want to cover everything here, but at least these 4 areas gives you a framework and a structure to think about how you're managing your energy and how you can potentially increase your level of energy in your mind, in your life. So what are the potential benefits here? The benefits are that you have a better quality of life if you have better energy. You have more progress in your life because you have better energy. You are much more effective and productive because you have more energy. You're much more patient with the people around you because you have more energy. You're much more strategic because your mind has the energy to think. You're much more intentional because you can show up better. You are much more connected to yourself deep down, or your faith, because you have the energy. So no aspect of our life, whether it be contribution or the quality of our life or the progress, is disconnected from our energy. And we'll go into how that shows up. The first one most people are aware of, that's physical energy. And I know you can't see this, but I'll go into there are 3 major categories that you need to be thinking about when it comes to your physical energy, which is crucial. Because if you don't have your physicality, a lot of things get affected. Your confidence is connected to your physicality, how you appear to people, how you communicate. So it's not just about how your state is, but people judge you and perceive you based on how energetic you are or not, and how it's not just about being energetic, but what they feel from your energy. And this is why people say, "Well, I get negative vibes from this person." Why do they get it? Because they can feel, even though you're not communicating that yourself, they can feel it. And Scott's showing chord record. It is recording. It is recording. No, we are recording, so we should be good. I thought it was something else that I missed. Thank you for the reminder. So what is it about your physicality that's important? One, it's important that you are in a physical state that communicates confidence if you're a leader. Where does that come from? That comes from your posture. That comes from how you carry yourself. The other one is how people perceive your energy. So whether you're in business or you're building relationships in your life, people perceive you based on your physical energy first. They notice a lot of things in you without even consciously noticing. Subconsciously, they pick up a lot of things. So I want to talk about three things that might impede your physical energy, that might affect your confidence, that might affect in the way that you are perceived by other people, that might affect the way that how you feel the quality of your life. Like you can get joint pains and aches because you're not taking care of yourself physically. And those three key areas are: one, sleep. Sleep is one of the biggest things. We're learning more and more that we don't actually fully understand how sleep affects us, but the parts that we do understand is that sleep, one area is that it actually washes away the toxins in your brain, and it basically it repairs your brain tissue and body tissue the next day. So if you're not getting enough sleep, whatever that is for you, the average is researched is about 8 hours. I don't think that's for everybody, but experiment and see what is for every individual. It's going to be a little bit different. So anywhere from 6 to 8.5, 9 hours, depending on how your individual physiology is. Experiment with that. How you know that? Well, how you feel throughout the day and week will determine how much sleep you have. So pay closer attention to that. And also the quality of sleep matters. One of the reasons why I wear these watches, because it actually tells me the different types of sleeps, whether I'm getting surface sleep, I'm getting REM sleep, or I'm getting deep sleep. So it tells you how much of what is the kind of quality of sleep and how does that compare to average. And I usually track that, and it's helped me kind of diagnose some of the pieces of it. So it's made a big difference in the way that I show up. And the second piece connected to that is nutrition. Nutrition, whether that comes from food or supplements, wherever that comes from, the quality of that food and the kind of food that you put into your body makes up your body. In fact, one claim that I've heard from many scientists is that every 10 years, you're creating a new body pretty much. All your cells are getting replaced every 10 years. So whatever you literally put in your body is what it's going to use as a raw material to create new cells. And so keeping a closer attention. Sometimes it's a matter of just switching one little thing. For example, this one supplement helped me a lot with my nutrition, ashwagandha. I started taking that a few months ago, and I started sleeping much more deeply. And not all side effects are known, but it's a herb. So it's helped me, and I wasn't getting more quality sleep. I was waking up a lot more. That one tweak made a big difference. So nutrition makes a difference, and again, other things um, um, uh, like the quality of food, whether you eat organic, natural food, or it has a bunch of pesticides, or you're eating a lot of processed food. Again, everybody's going to eat a version, some level of processed food, or it's just the system we live in. But how can you minimize that, and how can you eat better quality of food based on where you are in your level of abundance and everything else? So paying a closer attention to that makes a big difference. Movement. The last one I'll pay attention to is movement. Our bodies were never meant to be in one place, whether it's sitting or standing. Actually, there's a lot of people think that standing and working is a better thing than sitting. When you look at the research, there's not much of a difference between the two. The only thing that makes the biggest the standing might help more with posture, but the thing that makes the biggest difference is movement. Our bodies have evolved, or it's been designed to move, but we spend a huge amount of time sitting, and our posture we know now affects digestion, which affect nutrition intake, which affect mood and all sorts of things. So your movement, posture, those kind of things affect a lot of things. So these things in combination with each other are like, there are other things you can do to improve inflammation and other, but those are not core things. Like if you can just work on these three areas: sleep, nutrition, movement, it will take care of 80%, well over 80% of the challenges that you might have. and ask yourself what's been happening in these areas. Are you paying close attention to that? Because if you're not, more than likely that's affecting the quality of your life, that's affecting the quality of how you're interacting with others, that's affecting how you feel, whether you have pain, you don't have pain, whether your body feels heavy, it doesn't feel heavy, whether you feel energetic, you don't, whether you can focus or you don't. And like I said, these are all interconnected. So the next piece of it is mental, and this is the second most thing that most people are aware. Second obvious thing most people are aware. Generally, they say mental energy and physical energy, but mental has some other components to it. But so mental, generally, the way I look at it is your ability to focus and sustain that focus and stay away from distraction. So which means that mentally throughout the day, can you do work without burning out, without getting drained, whether that's in your personal life or in your business? So if you're sitting down, can you crank out 1, 2, 3, 4 hour, 5 hours of deep work without getting constantly distracted? Again, everybody's going to have a level of distraction, but what is your level of focus, and can you maintain that throughout the day? And again, part of the mental focus area is how do you deal with distractions? Whether those distractions, one, or those distractions are coming from whether your own mind, your own thought process, you don't know how to manage your own thoughts and emotions, or those distractions are coming from the way that you've set up your environment. Could be your phone, could be other people around you, could be the way you've set up your desk, your environment. Those things can create a lot of distraction. And ultimately, the thing you want to think about is, do you have enough mental focus to do deep work? That means do you have enough space to actually work on the things that matter, not just busy work? And it's usually deep work that takes you forward, that helps you move forward in your business and helps you create growth in your life. So check in there. How would you rate your mental energy? How would you, are you in the lower numbers on a scale of 1 to 10? Or are you mid range? Or are you on the higher end? And again, I want to assert that remind you that these are connected to your physical. So if you don't have enough sleep, your focus will always be affected. If you don't have enough nutrition, that'll affect your level of mental focus. If you don't have enough movement, that also affects that, because that can affect your sleep and that can also affect your posture and all sorts of other things. So these are all interconnected. So ask yourself, what is my mental focus level? And the third one, I want you to, and this is the one that's, I think, people are the least people have the most awareness because it's been talked a lot about in the mental health movement, but they don't know what to do in this area. They're the least equipped in this area. They have the least amount of tools, and even worse, they don't know how to use those tools, even though there's a lot of information around it. And that's on your emotional energy. Now, I want you to check in, and the way I describe emotional is it's a little bit more complex than the rest because it involves relationships. The first piece of it is your awareness of your own emotions and how you process it. That's complex enough to begin with because that has to do with your past and your state in the present moment and your state in how you look at your future. And then it has also to do with how you process other people's emotions around you, whether those are your family members, spouse, children, team members, how you react to other people's emotions. If you know a little bit about human physiology, you find out pretty quickly that our brain is designed to react to other people's emotions. We literally have mirrored neurons. So we reflect other people's emotions, whether you like it or not. So how you process that affects your day. How you can make sense of that in practical day-to-day stuff is just think about your day-to-day life. Like if you ever have an argument in the morning with somebody in your life, how does the next few hours or the rest of your day go? How does that affect your focus? How does that affect your physical energy? It has an impact. So how you process that and how you manage those relationships makes a big difference in the quality of your day-to-day life and how you move forward. And finally, there's reaction to your own state, like how you process your own emotions. There's reaction to other people, and then the third one is reaction to events. So, for example, a bunch of people here are from California right now. There's a big disaster going on there. How you react to that and what meaning you assign to it determines how you look at your life. So our reaction to events that are outside of our control, whether it be in our own life, things that happen, whether those are emergencies like physical illness or natural disasters, things that came out where we didn't expect them. And the meaning we assign to it determines how we move forward. It determines our own emotional state, and that determines how we react to our own life. So if you, for example, as Scott mentioned in the beginning, like I'm grateful for having a roof over my head and food and water. Like that's an incredible first way of looking at it, because you could be freaked out by a lot of things, but you're choosing to go towards gratitude. That, you know what, I'm truly grateful. But that also matters in our day-to-day life, how you set up your state. And this is why they say gratitude is such a powerful state, because if you can look at your life from that lens, you react better to your life, or respond better instead of reacting. And then finally, the last one I want to, and this is, I would say well over 70% of people's energy is trapped into emotional and spiritual. And the last one is the spiritual side. And what do I mean by spiritual? One aspect of spiritual most people are aware of, they say faith. So, what is in faith? So it's not always about religion or faith, but that determines a huge part of how you show up in your life. What does faith do? What does belief in God do? Well, the biggest thing it does for most people are, one, it gives them hope, and hope in something that's benevolent, better, that I am protected, I'm looked after, those kind of things. And religion connected to faith gives you structure. So this is why religions have, despite all the negative side of it, they have worked very successfully over thousands of years. Now, it doesn't have to be connected to religion. The spiritual energy can also be connected to your sense of purpose. So sense of purpose does the same, achieves the same exact thing. So your sense of purpose could be connected to your contribution to your community, to the world. So you if you didn't believe in, and if you weren't part of a religion, or if you didn't have faith, but you had a higher sense of purpose towards contributing to something bigger, I think it has a very similar effect. And that's what I've seen in the people that I've worked with. And so that sense of purpose, one, creates a powerful sense of hope and a connectedness with those around you. And it's the same thing with faith as well. It creates a sense of connectedness with others around us, and also with the bigger world. And a sense of purpose does the same thing, whether that sense of purpose is connected to your community, other people. Usually for human beings, is connected to a bigger, a cause bigger than themselves, that usually involves other people or humanity or their culture, or whatever it might be. So it gives this sense of hope, this sense of connectedness, but it also gives you a structure, a mission to go towards. Similar elements are in religion, and this is why it works for people. So, and another, a third way to look at this, so a lot of people don't know, is the deepest aspect of every faith in the world, pretty much, and even if you go to ancient times, is your awareness of yourself, your core. So that could be your soul, that could be your core self, that could be the deeper part, the authentic part of yourself. If you can connect with that, and that usually connects to a sense of purpose, then that gives you the same effect as having a deeper faith. And whether or not you believe God exists or the universe is benevolent, we're looking for also, if you look at it just from a results and performance standpoint, if you put two people together, one has a sense of purpose and mission and direction and structure, the other one doesn't, the person with a sense of mission, structure, and direction and a vision will always win. That's just because our mind works with that. And this is why we do a lot of deep work around the vision piece, and it connects to, and as soon as I get people to explore their vision, it usually connects to their sense of purpose. If they have faith, it connects to their faith. If they have a sense of contribution, or they want to contribute some way, it connects to that. And if they usually connects to their sense of self, their soul, their core, that connects to everything around them. So if you don't have a clear experience of the spiritual energy in your life, then you're always going to be held back. This is why a lot of people will struggle in terms of their productivity as well, because they cannot associate this simple task, how it connects to their sense of purpose, how it connects to the bigger picture. And again, this is for you to kind of assess for yourself. Do you have that sense of purpose, that sense of belong connectedness, that sense of structure in your life? If you do, you will find yourself being very effective, it'll be easier for you to make decisions. It'll be easier for you to wake up in the morning. It'll be easier for you to go towards more difficult things versus not, versus the other way when you don't have those things, then it becomes harder and harder, and you will more and more use your willpower to do things. And willpower is also an aspect of mental energy that it's renewable, but you only have a little bit of it every day. And most people are forcing themselves to do things. But when you have a sense of mission, when you have a sense of purpose and you have a vision, you're pulled by that. And that's what we're trying to do with energy. Is as soon as you so as an example, if you can process things better, if you can react better to other people, and you have a sense of purpose, even if you didn't take care of yourself fully, and even if you didn't you had all sorts of distractions, or you think you're ADHD, something like that, you will still be way ahead of most people. And this is why you see some people that do not take care of themselves physically and mentally, but for some reason they're incredibly productive because they have a very high sense of purpose. They have a very high sense of energy. Now, the caveat is that if they did take care of themselves, they would be better, but they're fueled by their sense of purpose. And this is why if you give, for example, soldiers a mission, you can get them to be hungry for days. You could get them to do extreme things for months on end, and they will do it because they have a purpose and a mission. That's why military is so driven by mission and purpose. That's why religions are so driven by mission and purpose. That's why companies that are really good, they build a powerful vision. Communities that are really connected, they create a sense of vision and purpose. Like, these are all very, and this is a human thing. It's not a one culture, different culture thing. That's just how our mind works. So I'll leave it at that. I'd love for you guys to consider, as a summary, we talked about energy, how it impacts different aspects of our life. And there are four aspects of energy that I covered today. One is your physical. The second one is your mental energy. The third one is your spiritual, emotional energy. And the fourth one is spiritual energy. And what I did remind you is that a huge part of your energy, I'd say 70% in my estimate, based on what I've seen, again, this is a guess, is connected to your emotional and spiritual energy. The 30% physical and mental is connected to how you take care of yourself on a day-to-day basis, physically and in terms of avoiding distraction and stuff. I'd love to hear from you. What would you say was your biggest insight? You can put that in the chat, and then we'll have a short conversation.